Hey everybody, this is Ellery Higgins, and I am doing a presentation on how to properly establish and maintain a freshwater aquarium. I've had my 20-gallon setup for quite a while, and it's going pretty well. I had some issues in the beginning, but it's not been too bad since then. Um, First of all, what you need to do is choose an aquarium size. They start as small as 1 gallon, 10 gallon, 20 gallon, 55 gallon, 100 gallon, all the way up to 300 gallon. You could probably even get bigger. I opted for a 20 gallon to keep it nice and small. It fits in my living room. My kids love it and keeps the fish nice and small. There's a bunch of different types of fish. I'm concentrating on the freshwater aquarium. I have some guppies. There's some algae eaters. I have tetras. I did not get any goldfish. You can definitely get many other types of fish. Catfish is even an excellent fish. First of all, let's talk about the equipment that you need to get this set up. First of all, you're going to need a good filter. Make sure you choose the right filter. I have an under gravel and also a clip-on filter. You're going to need a heater for the proper size. Aerators are important. It keeps the water oxygenated. And a substrate, which is like gravel, or some people opt for sand. There's many extras as well too. You can get air-powered accessories, stuff that bubbles, static accessories, places for them to hide. Plants, you can get those live, even bulbs, and some fake plastic plants, stuff like that. And there's a bunch of other toys and little accessories that you can get that fish absolutely love. There's a lot of good fun stuff. If you want to breed fish, some live-bearing fish that is out there, guppies, they breed like mad. You cannot stop guppies from breeding. There are also mollies, platies, swordtails. There's some really fun fish. It's a really good educational tool. My kids love it. I love it. Fills out your tank really fast. Egg layers are a little bit more complicated. They don't like to mate that often, so I mean, if you want to keep your tank nice and small, you're going to want to look for things like cichlids, danios, tetras, convicts. Tetras, I have, they're community fish. They like to stay in groups of like 3 to 6 or more. But when you're getting set up, make sure you're using the right type of water. If you use filtered or purified water, those are the best kinds. If you use water straight out of the tap, you're going to have to use some extra chemicals to kind of take some of those harsh minerals out of the water, so the fish are able to survive and last quite a bit longer. Starting the tank, you're going to want to completely fill the tank after filtering out some of the sand and stuff like that in the gravel. And make sure you get your tank organized how you want it. That way it's going to be the least stress on the fish for once they're in there. You're not always rearranging the tank, stuff like that. Make sure you get all your planning done beforehand. Also, they suggest doing at least one water change before you even put any fish in there. So, I mean, make sure you got that water filled up for at least a good week or two. That way you get all the good and some of the bad bacteria is built up in there. But the fish love all the good bacteria. It helps their scales, stuff like that. Some of the chemicals you're going to need is some pH balance. That'll help keep the pH levels in the water good. Easy Start is an excellent chemical. It's perfect for doing water changes and setting up a new tank. And if you use tap water, make sure you get something to neutralize the hard chemicals in that tap water. So now it's time to go get your fish. So head to the pet shop. Finding your first few fish, you're going to want to start with like 3 to 6. Start really small. Make sure they're lively. Make sure they're looking well. There's no kinds of spots or anything on them. Make sure they're not just like laying around the bottom, being all lethargic. Chances are those aren't going to last too long. On your way home, make sure they're still kind of active in the bag. They're probably going to be a little scared, so they're going to be a little slow, but make sure they're still swimming around, everything's going okay. And then also, as a reminder, make sure you put that bag inside your already prepared water. Otherwise, if you just kind of toss them in there, it's going to shock them really bad. Once you do that, you're going to want to do that for about 15 minutes to a half an hour. They're going to be in there. Make sure everything's okay. Make sure they're still doing good, and just make sure all your stuff's ready, all your accessories are working, the filter's working, the heater's working. Make sure everything's set and ready to go. and it's time to let them free. What they suggest doing, so that way you don't get any kind of bad chemicals and out of the water that comes from the pet store, or any kind of bacteria. Make sure you scoop the fish out of the bag as opposed to just dumping the bag in there, and then gently place the fish inside your tank. That way they're in fresh, clean water, and you're not going to have to worry about any kind of sickness or anything going through. Um, Now's the time to just wait and watch. I mean, get them fed. They've been through a lot on the way home from the store, and you're gonna start feeling like a parent. That responsibility is gonna start smacking you in the face, and you're just gonna worry constantly about your fish. Make sure you don't overfeed them. They're going to come to you constantly. So, I mean, if you go walk over to the tank and look at it, they're going to come right up to the glass and act like they're all kind of hungry again. Feed them once to twice a day, and make sure they're all still looking good. This is your first batch of fish. This is your first try. So, if you have any kind of casualties or anything like that, take them back to the store. If everything's good, it's time to go get some more fish. This is the really hard part. Make sure that these fish are, still going to be acting well, stuff like that. But this is the part where you can actually cause some damage to your original fish if you get some sickness from your second batch. So, I mean, it could wreak havoc. And also make sure that they're not aggressive to each other. If they're aggressive to each other, you may have to separate them. You can get separators or even buy a box for some of them or a separate tank. Sometimes they don't play nice. Even though they're supposed to, they don't. And you're going to have to kind of play interference with them a little bit. And, you've done it. If you've made it this far, your tank is good and set up, you're good to go. Now you can sit back and enjoy. Hope this was a insightful presentation, and have fun with your new fish.